What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Full Send SRT. My name is Caden, and today we're going to be going over the main differences between the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT and the new Trackhawk. Now, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really helps me out, guys, and let's get right into the differences. So starting off, this is the WK2 facelift model of the SRT. The WK2 facelift applies to the Trackhawk as well. As you can see, we have the updated bumper in the WK2 facelift. In the Trackhawk, we do not actually have any fog lights on the vehicle. This is replaced by just a vent, as the Trackhawk has a supercharged V8 at a 6.2 liter and it needs more vents to get cooled. As we move up, the front of the vehicle is the exact same as the Trackhawk aside from the fog lights. We have the U-shaped LED headlights, and all the vents in this vehicle are actually real. There are no fake vents here. Now, as we move to the side of the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, you can see we have the big Brembo brakes and brake calipers. On the Trackhawk, they actually have upgraded Brembos, and also the calipers are yellow on the Trackhawk, but they actually come with the same rims. I've debadged my SRT, but usually right here, it says Grand Cherokee, but on the Trackhawk, it says Grand Cherokee Supercharged. Now, looking at this vehicle from the side, it is the exact same as the Trackhawk. Aesthetically, the body lines are the exact same. The only difference is the yellow calipers and the supercharged logo on the side. As we move to the back, this is where the biggest difference is between the Trackhawk and the SRT. On the Trackhawk, we have a quad exhaust. But on the SRT, we have duals, and right here where it says SRT on the Trackhawk, it says nothing at all. The Trackhawk's exhaust also came from the Hellcat models. This SRT exhaust is specifically designed for the 6.4 liter. Now, the biggest difference when it comes to the Trackhawk versus SRT is the engine. Let's release the latch here. We'll turn off the vehicle and let's take a look at the 6.4 liter naturally aspirated V8. To release the hood on the SRT, this is the latch right here. You just move it right to the side and it opens right up. Here you can see the 6.4 liter Hemi. This has 475 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. Now, on the Trackhawk, they use the 6.2 liter because it can handle more pressure. When they put the supercharger on the 6.2, it makes 707 horsepower and 700 foot-pounds of torque. Now, the parts on the 6.4 Hemi are all metal that don't really allow for a supercharger to be put on it with lots of upgrades. On the 6.2 Hemi, the reason why they can supercharge it is because it has forged parts that allows for more pressure, allowing for more power. Now, let's take a look at the interior of the SRT and compare it to the Trackhawk. You don't have to slam the hood. All you do is put it down and just, there we go, give it a light press. Now, the first thing that you'll notice in the Grand Cherokee SRT is the steering wheel. In the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, they don't have this wheel. The vehicle isn't actually really associated with the SRT brand. On the Trackhawk, it will just say Jeep, and right here, it'll say Trackhawk. Now, on the SRT, we obviously have the logo right here, but the steering wheel is the exact same on the Trackhawk. When it comes to the interior of the Grand Cherokee and the Trackhawk, they're pretty much the exact same aside from the wheel and the door sill. The door sill here says SRT, but on the Trackhawk, it says supercharged. Now, as we take a look around the Grand Cherokee SRT, everything's the exact same as the Trackhawk. The carbon fiber trim's the exact same, the leather wrap dash is the same, Harman Kardon sound system, and a dual panoramic sunroof. The roof is also wrapped in Alcantara. Now, when it comes to the seats of the Grand Cherokee SRT, they're just standard bucket seats with leather and Alcantara. They say SRT right on the seat, but in the Trackhawk, you can opt for the Laguna leather package. That makes the bucket seats full leather, but also on the Trackhawk, you can also get these seats as well. All they say is Trackhawk right here. I personally prefer Laguna leather, but that's just my preference. It's a pretty expensive option, coming in around $7,000 to $8,000. Now, when it comes to driving the SRT versus the Trackhawk, you're going to notice that the suspension is a little bit stiffer in the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. That is because it has upgraded parts and performance to handle the engine. It's more of a drag racing vehicle when it comes to super SUVs. Like I said, one of the biggest differences when it comes to the engine is the 6.4 liter Hemi uses metal parts as opposed to the Trackhawk using forged parts. It's a much stronger vehicle, allowing for more power. Now the suspension is way tighter and it handles a lot better than the Grand Cherokee SRT. In this vehicle I find there's a lot of oversteer, but that's kind of what you expect in a 6,000 pound SUV. Both vehicles are great for daily driving. The Trackhawk does 0 to 60 in about 3.3 seconds, as opposed to the SRT doing 0 to 60 in 4.4. The SRT will do the quarter mile in around 13 to 14 seconds, and I do believe that the Trackhawk does it right around the 11 to 12 second range. Now, one of the biggest downsides of the Trackhawk, in my opinion, is that aesthetic-wise, it looks almost the exact same as the Grand Cherokee SRT, and it shares pretty much the exact name with the Jeep Trailhawk. As you can see here, the Trailhawk logo is pretty much the exact same as the Trackhawk logo, and it kind of makes the Trackhawk feel a little bit less special, but also it kind of feels like a sleeper in a way. If you're not sure what the Trackhawk is and you own a Lambo, and the Trackhawk keeps up with you and possibly even beats you, that's going to be pretty surprising and it's going to be pretty fun. Now, when it comes to the price differences in Canadian and US dollars, the Grand Cherokee starts at about $80,000 Canadian or about $70,000 American. The Trackhawk starts at about $95,000 to $100,000 American and about $120,000 Canadian. Now, if you're deciding on either the SRT or the Trackhawk, just ask yourself the question, do you need the extra 200 horsepower or would you enjoy the 200 extra horsepower? If you're just using it just to commute A to B, I recommend the SRT. But if you're, a hardcore Mopar fan and you really want that horsepower, 100% go with the Trackhawk model. That's my honestly dream vehicle. I hope to get it one day. And there's so many aftermarket mods you can do to the Trackhawk to get it to 1,000 horsepower. So those are the main differences between the Trackhawk and the SRT. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really helps me out, guys. And we'll see you in the next one. Full Send SRT, signing off. Peace.